No, I need to go back a bit. On January the 24th, 2023, Dad passed away in Connolly Hospital in Dublin. I know he hated that expression. "You mean they're dead," he would say. "Okay, Dad, I'll give you that one." This is the cortege leaving our house, passing Blackcastle, his own home on the Mill Lane in Leixlip, the family home for over half a century. The local fire brigade, where I worked for 16 years, were magnificent and provided a guard of honour. Dad famously loved a good hat, so we all wore one that day. Most of them belonged to Dad. The 6 grandkids carried him into St Mary's to the strains of Leonard Cohen's "Dance Me to the End of Love." I can't play the audio or I'll get my collar felt by the copyright police. Just know it was the perfect tune, and that I was damn proud of those grandkids that morning. I think we gave him a good send-off. The post-match feedback was positive anyway. We had a lovely gathering at a local hotel, and the pints flowed in the salmon leap that week.
I wish you were here, Dad, and you kind of are in a way, you know.
A short while later, I found myself in the Dublin mountains. I don't mean that kind of found myself. I just mean some local running buddies had dragged me along to one of their hill running weekend sessions. It rekindled a love for the mountains and sowed a seed that grew into a plan to take on the Wicklow Way that year. The Wicklow Way is Ireland's oldest trail route and one of the longest, at 130 kilometres. It runs through Dublin, Wicklow and Carlow on the east coast. The elevation profile looks a little scary, but then you are crossing the Wicklow Mountains, so what would you expect? You can start in Dublin's Marley Park at the foothills of the Dublin Mountains, or the small village of Clonegall in County Carlow. Either way, you'll pass through Glendalough and other beauty spots. Not far from Dublin, the way passes very close to Ticknock and the road where my dad grew up in a little cottage on the hillside. So the plan to complete the way sort of fell into my lap. It would give me a focus for the months following his death and offer a chance to celebrate his life in my own strange fashion. There was only one man crazy enough to want in on this adventure, a Royal Canal runner himself, Mr. Gary O'Daly. Gary and I would do some recce runs along the route, and then Gary would drive the sag wagon on the day.
Aren't you glad we came down to the bridge now, Gary?
Nearly tempted to dip the feet.
Gary wants to, 2 miles ago you wanted to turn back. 2 miles. You would have missed this beautiful bridge.
And I'm a man who's known for liking bridges.
That's true. He's a connoisseur of a good bridge.
And not in the flatlands like a lair anymore.
No. That's for sure. That's some climb now. Huh? And this is apparently the easy part of the Wicklow Way. So they say.
This is an easy developed path. Egan's Bar, it's only behind. You can go back if you want.
I don't think it'll be open on an Easter Monday. I don't think so. So it's suddenly Saturday, the 27th of May. I don't know how that happened, but there we go. And so that means we're only really 3 weeks away from the big run. And I'd have to admit the training has been at best relaxed. It's kind of a sort of a semi-planned thing to not overtrain, but I think I've definitely not overtrained.
Yes, it's a funny place for a piece to camera, I admit, but when it's as hot as it's been for the last couple of weeks, the only place to spend an afternoon, if you have the time, the luxury of the time, and I do have a day off today, is bobbing around in the Liffey, which is where I am right now. Anyway, I best get out and dry off. I've still got a few things to sort out for the run. A couple of camping gas issues and things like that. We're going to try and find a way to maybe have a hot cup of soup and maybe porridge in the morning and a cup of tea or something like that, which will require a little bit of camping gas ingenuity. Anyway, we'll see. I will see you out on the trail somewhere, no doubt. It's the unglamorous world of ultra running. You know, clipping the toenails. I think the hardest part of today is just going to be the waiting, because normally on a long run you just get up and you start running and it's beautifully simple, but today I'm not running till the evening, and then I know I have to run throughout the night and maybe into the next night, so it's it's just a whole day of just nerves. That's what it's going to be. Anyway, toenails are done, that's the main thing. So I'm just off the phone with Gary, and we've just made an executive decision to postpone the run till tomorrow. It is Friday the 16th, so today was the day, but this is the reason, if you care to have a quick look at that. What we have is a good chance of some heavy rain with lightning, thunder and lightning. So being up in the mountains and above the tree line and thunder and lightning might be a bad combination. So whilst there's a bit of rain around tomorrow and into Sunday, it's nothing like what's around tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we had this contingency plan anyway. That's why we planned for Friday, and then we just knew we'd have the Saturday to fall back on. So we've taken that a little bit of padding that we've allowed for. So now we're going to head off. This gives us the chance to leave a little earlier on Saturday. So that's something. So anyway, more later. Yeah, well, you can see it's nearly 1:30. It's Saturday, and in just another half hour or so Gary will be here, and by jizz, the nerves is eating me alive, I have to say. I don't think I've ever been this nervous about a run before. Maybe it's because I haven't done enough training, which is possibly true, or I've certainly had a very relaxed approach to training, and maybe because the task is probably bigger than I've really let on, even to myself. But hey ho, the weather is certainly looking a little bit brighter than it was yesterday. Yesterday was pretty gloomy. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff already boxed and ready to go, and then there's the last minute prep here, which I'll probably change into my running gear in the next wee while, and just, you know, so that when we get out of the car down in Carlow, it'll just be all systems go and we'll get running. And that's the plan. It's good to have a plan, isn't it?
Yeah, It works.
It works. It definitely works. Right, our nemesis is turning right. Do you need petrol?
Nope, I'm good for now.
Okay.
Can I get by?
Just for the record, Gary's refusing to let me buy him petrol. Just so we know. So we're in County Carlow now. And so far the weather is holding up. Well, how long have we left? To go another
10 minutes to there. And
10 minutes.
Probably that will give us 20 minutes before we start at 4 o'clock.
Very exciting.
Just enough time to make up your drinks.
Ah yes, perfect, yes. Right, Gary is wearing the official Wicklow Way cap and the official Wicklow Way t-shirt, and that's obviously my dad, and that's where the beard comes in. Okay, that's why we grew the beard. And the eagle-eyed amongst you know that today is actually the 17th. So yesterday was Bloomsday. So yesterday we were supposed to start, and obviously the weather got in the way.
But it does mean we're going to finish on Father's Day.
So we're finishing on Father's Day.
So
hopefully.
So we're a few seconds away from Jackie getting away on the Wicklow Way.
Yeah.
He's watching it himself, and it's 4 o'clock. So we're getting off.
Looks like a little bit of rain over there. We've just left Clonagall. We've just done over a kilometre. Did it in 5:40 as well, which is probably about the fastest kilometre we'll do on the whole trip, I suspect. Gary's gone ahead, so we're officially underway, which is very exciting. We kind of normally do these adventurous things setting off early in the morning, which is great. The hanging around today was really killing me, so it's good to be finally underway. Anyway, as I've said before and we'll say again, we'll see you soon.
At the top of the first big hill, we always see him cheating and walking, but here he comes. When we recce'd this, we had a debate the last time as to which way was to go, but I think that's the way to go, not the way into the farm. And the one thing we forgot, so next time you have your phone, is WhatsApp. So yeah, if you don't mind in that way. I know this isn't the main stop, but do you need anything?
No.
Grant,
No.
happy out. So this is the way that we can track each other to make sure.
We've just gone 5k, taken us about 33 minutes, so I'm happy with that. My kind of lowest benchmark really is let's get at least 5k done per hour, and in reality on an ordinary kind of a route you'd be doing that in a half an hour, but allowing for hills and walking and stops and various things, if we do that as a minimum, we'll still get in sometime tomorrow afternoon, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. I don't really want to hit a second batch of night time if I can avoid it. Anyway, this is a nice little section of wood. We've rose up out of Clonagall, and we're heading into the first little forestry plantation, which is on a little hill, and then we drop back down and we meet Gary again. Just on our first climb, nearly 48 minutes in, so really only just begun, as the song goes. And yeah, just heard an almighty clap of thunder there, so I'm going to leave the GoPro on, and if there's more thunder about
I suspect we'll capture that if we get another one. Look, we're not wildly exposed here as it stands, but we're clearly up a little bit from the surrounding countryside, so we'll have to think about that if it gets any worse. On the plus side, the rain is sort of held off. A little bit of drizzle earlier, but it's held off so far, so long may that continue. You can just see there how much we've gone up out of the lowlands of Carlow into this first nice little plantation. And just a few hundred yards back there, I had a buzzard for company for a while. It's left me for now, and I expect sometime later on, as we get into the Wicklow Mountains proper, we'll start to hear a few ravens, maybe get one of our friendly ravens for company as well. Anyway, I haven't heard another crack of thunder, so hopefully that will have cleared the air for a bit.
Fail to prepare and prepare to fail, as they say. Here's the first aid and jelly, pasta, oats, coffee, cake, and of course the all-important energy gel with energy source and electrolytes, and then loads of bottles of water, torches, sunglasses, and then we have our camping stuff, which is our gas stove and pots and pans and stuff like that, and then long sleeve tops and short sleeve tops, and over on that side is more trying to trail running stuff, and of course the merch from the run. And then we've our tech hub of all the USB charges to charge our phones, our watches and everything else, our lights that we need for the run.
I was just jogging up that fire road there, and I had a premonition about deer coming around the corner towards me, and then 2 seconds later a deer ran out in front of me across the road. So maybe growing this mountainy man beard has given me mountainy man powers. Anyway, we're still in this little wood, and we've had about 5 or 6 good rolls of thunder, peals, claps, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to see if I can capture one on the GoPro. No doubt as soon as I turn it off, that's when it will happen.
That was a cracking bit of thunder that I got literally as I pressed record.
The luxury of having the sag wagon. You can sit in the heated seat while the rain pelts down outside. Hello. Right, we're sort of back on track. Had the most phenomenal thunderstorm pass right overhead, and I mean right overhead. I'm going to swear blind for the rest of my days that I nearly got hit by lightning back there, that it hit the fence right beside me. I certainly saw the flash, heard the crack, and I thought the fence was going to go up, but who knows. Anyway, we're on this lovely little track. We've got all these lovely foxgloves and and lovely ferns and brambles and bracken and pennywort, and for now anyway, the storm has passed overhead. I'm not taking any chances. I'm wearing my little rainproof poncho, and we're back into another climb. So happy days. I remember this from the last time. I don't remember this being here, this gate here, but I'm pretty sure we're going the right way, and we won't see Gary for another 8 or 9k, at which point I'm sure I'll be looking for something to eat half decent. So I'm getting a bit hungry, even though we're really not that far into the thing itself. But I suppose it is dinner time in my head and in my belly. In fairness, it was only when I stopped running in this ridiculous red bin liner that I realised how quiet it was. You can see this mist hanging over this little bit of a mountain we've just gone over. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look at the map. It's the second of the sort of hilly bits we've climbed so far. And I know it will be certainly not the highest we'll be climbing anyway on the way, and it's only the second of many. But anyway, I think we're on the descent now, but there's a fairly heavy mist hanging over, and I suppose it's about 6:30 now, so I'm hoping that this mist will lift, because it'd be nice not to have this gloominess all the way into the night time. Anyway, we don't get to choose these things, I guess.
It's not the 12th of July yet, but if this man has a sash and a bowler hat, we know where we're coming from. So I think Declan has a poncho on, which means it probably got heavier rain where he was. It did seem to dry up here a little bit.
I wasn't quick enough. There was a buzzard on the pole there. Looked like it was doing a bit like what I've been doing. It's drying its wings. Probably just taking advantage of the lull in hostilities as regards rain. And I was hoping to get a sneaky shot of it. Anyway, not to worry. We're 24.5 odd k in, about 2.5 to go to the Dying Cow. Gary's gone ahead. He's going to put on a pot of tea, so that'll be the first kind of proper stop, sit down, have a little catch of the breath and see where we're at. It looks well, behind me is brightening up a little, but it's certainly since that thunderstorm it's never really lifted. Still lovely out though, and it certainly isn't cold. So next stop, the Dying Cow. Oh yay. Oh lordy. Well, to paraphrase that famous film quote, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. We were on a lovely tarmac, freshly laid, brand new tarmac road there for the last few K, climbed up the side of a hill, and then suddenly, bingo, we're into, I suppose, this is the first bit of the way where I would really call this, you know, proper trail kind of. Well, I'm not running it, but it's the real deal, if you know what I mean. It's open, rugged, mountainous, and rather pretty, if we can use that expression, then why not? This is, after all, Wicklow, which I think is the Garden County of Ireland, my memory serves. Anyway, it's all rather pretty. Of course, as long as we're on the right track, according to the Google map, I am. So we'll keep going anyway.
So we're just outside Tinnahealy now. The main R747 is just down there. Thankfully Declan only needs to run on it for a minute or two. I'm just crashing outside parked outside a small little farmer's cottage, waiting for Declan to come down this hill any minute now. And so we're about 40k in, so nearing up to 90k to go after this. Probably losing light within the next 2 hours. A bit of fog up there on the hills, but hopefully we'll get over the far side of mine. I've kind of got 2 aid stations ready before we get into the dark, and we need to suit up for the night session and hopefully be at Glenmanure before midnight.
So I nearly missed a turn there. We were jogging along, minding our own business, and then I noticed a little stile and I thought that looks very pretty, and then boom, I nearly missed the turn. So this is the first bit of the famous kind of Wicklow Way steps, which is made out of timber and then these little metal rivets. That's not the right word, but anyway, I'm not thinking clearly at the moment. But I also thought I might just record a few thoughts for the blog, so before I forget. So the working title is going to be One Step Closer to Home. So in other words, when you're on a long run, it's always sort of nice to think about it not as cumulatively how many miles you've done, but sometimes how many miles you have to go. And of course, every step you take is a step closer to home. Anyway, the first real excitement was the thunder as we got onto the top of that first hill. Some serious thunder, and then we had the real serious honest to God, it was I thought I was a goner. There was some serious lightning, and then it landed right beside me, but that was quite exciting. And then the rain came down, so it was torrential rain, so I had to shelter in the car for about half an hour, so we got a bit, obviously got a bit delayed there. But anyway, the rain lifted and we pushed on. The next mountain then was very misty and a bit more rain, so I had to put the rain jacket on. And then it's a nice little stream. Yes, so I had a nice buzzard at that point in that first little hill, and then what else did we see? Oh yes, as we were coming down to the dying cow, there was a big old buzzard on a telegraph pole drying its wings. Not sure if I got footage of it or not. And then the dying cow at about 26k in. And I have to admit, I discovered at that point I'd lost my glasses, and luckily I have a couple of pairs spare, but I was feeling a bit whacked at that point. So I'm glad I had a chance to sit down, have a pot of tea and a few biscuits with Gary, and it seems to have perked me up a little bit on the road again, and hit the first bit of real Wicklow Way off-road stuff, which was accompanied by some cows which I had to sort of climb around to get around them. And then I had a fox as well run across the road, and I've had a deer as well, so it's been nice. Plenty of wildlife. Anyway, just thought I'd stick a few thoughts down.
So it was bound to happen. We had our first slight navigational mishap, which on my side of things. So that last video I posted up and saying Declan should be coming down that hill. He didn't come down the hill, and after probably 15 minutes longer than I would have expected him to get there, I decided to drive up the hill a little bit and saw a different way marker pointing through a shortcut to avoid the main road, which wasn't on the map in the book that I'm using. So Declan obviously followed the signage, which makes perfect sense, took that and never came down the hill. So I missed him at the checkpoint where I was hoping to meet him, and have drove on to the next one at mine. The shared locations aren't great because a lot of this is kind of, we're out of reception area now, but we have had 1 or 2 texts, and I think he's about 2.5-3k from where I am now. I think it's the Moyne River, so hopefully I'll catch up with him soon.
We're under a deciduous canopy now. That's why it's got so dark all of a sudden. It's not really that dark, but we are losing the light slowly but surely. And the downside to having the overcast weather this weekend as opposed to the last couple of weekends of glorious sunshine is we're going to have obviously a longer night time effectively. We're never really going to get the sun setting. Probably won't get the sunrise either. But this is a lovely little patch of native planting. I say native, they look like beach, but hey, we'll take it. So quiet. Just coming down off this side of this mountain, and it's been a lovely little proper trail run really, which is a shame I'm not wearing trail runners, but there you go. I'm still wearing my Saucony endorphin thingamybobs, which are really road running shoes, but hey ho. And I've just heard my first pair of ravens calling. And if there was a motif for the Wicklow Way run, it's definitely going to be ravens. Anyway, here's a little dilemma: to follow this path or follow that path. Oh, maybe the decision is, oh, it's definitely back down this way, all right. I can see the little signs. We have just had a little pit stop there. Don't know if you can, it's probably just all this blurry lights, head torches, is it? Anyway, never mind. So we just had a pit stop and a change of, I'll put on some runners, trail runners now. Could have done with them in the last wee bit, but anyway. Fresh socks and generally just a spruce up and a clean up and a sup of Coca-Cola, and just to recharge the batteries. And then anyway, yes, we've pretty much lost the light now. It's excuse me, I think it's after 10. I'm not really sure what time it is, but the sun is officially down and it's so cloudy that there's a lot less light, unfortunately, than we would have had if we were doing this last week. But them's the breaks, as they say. Well, the clock has just ticked over into midnight, and we're in this rather marvellous wood. You can't really see it. In fairness, I can't really see it either. I just I just saw a fox. His eyes gave him away first, but anyway, it's Sunday now officially, so it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad. And I'm just sorry you can't be here, but hey ho. Lots of people missing their dads on this day. So if you have a dad, you know, give them a little hug and a squeeze. I mean, they may not really appreciate it, but you know, give them a hug and a squeeze anyway. All right, we'll push on.
Now we're recording. There we go. And now we're hearing sheep out there. So as I said, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning now, and we're just stopped at Iron Bridge. And oddly enough, we had just a car pass us the first hours.
I heard you one. She went past it. Oh, Margaret, I think they're dogging in the car park. And they're recording it as well. Dirty dicks. No, that won't make the film. It might make the film.
Depends how tired you are when you're editing it.
That's true, yeah. Mind you, my arse was in the last film.
That's true, yes it was.
I think we have to...
We took a dive, literally.
We have to up the stakes. So, yeah. You going to have a coffee or something, no?
No, I'm good. Had a Red Bull not too long ago, so...
Stuff is very bad for you.
Yes, it is.
Very bad indeed.
And it didn't even work because I'm absolutely wrecked and I haven't ran a fucking mile today. Though I do already have 1,500 steps and it's only 1:05.
Well, you did
so.
a park run this morning.
So
that's good going. And I still think you've got the harder job than I have.
Any words of wisdom after your first, what, about 50, 60k now?
50, yeah, I don't know, is it 54? No, words of wisdom, none. God, why? I mean, if I had wisdom, I wouldn't be here, I'd be in bed. That's wisdom. No, not really. I did have a little poignant moment when it kind of hit midnight. You know, I just had a little, I wish my dad a happy Father's Day, and all the dads, you know, because there's lots of people obviously who don't have dads, which is very sad. So yeah, that was a kind of a moment. I've had a few moments like that, in fairness, since we started, where I start thinking about my dad and then I get a bit upset. So then I have to stop thinking about my dad in order to keep going, you know. But I'm going to keep... There's an Irish short story, is it Frank O'Connor, where the little kid has to run home, but he's upset because he got into trouble at school. But he starts crying and then he realises he'll never keep that up all the way home. So he has to just tone it right down. And as he's getting closer to home, he realises, okay, I need to just start cranking it up again. And just as he bursts through the door, the man, he says, oh, you're home from school. He goes, ah! So that'll be me at Tick Knock. I just got to, you know,
wind it up.
Yeah, keep the emotions in check for a bit, you know. Oh, well, we had a boo-boo, which seems to be par for the course. Whenever I go on one of these adventures, I have a boo-boo. Unfortunately, this boo-boo was quite a good few kilometres out of the way when I missed a turn, and then of course Gary was wondering where the hell I was because I wasn't at the next point of contact, and just to seal the deal, there was no phone signal, so there was a wee bit of stress there for a while. Anyway, we're sort of back on track, and on this windy little bit of an old track, and we've just come down off from Mullacore and heading for Glenmalure, and we're going to meet at Glenmalure Lodge, and I think by that stage I might need another cup of tea to get over all the excitement of it all. Anyway, I think we're still on the right track here, although track is stretching it a little, I have to admit, but we'll push on.
So it's just about 10 to 4 now, and I'm just parked outside the lodge at Glenmalure, which I only recently figured out is the filming location for The Stag, the movie. Just left back Declan on the military road, so he's about 7k before he gets here to come around. Looks like he got spun around a bit by the markers not being very clear between Iron Bridge and where I was due to meet him on Military Road. So we ended up taking 2 or 3 kind of wrong paths before he found his way back. And the timing was just a bit off, so I walked up the path, and thankfully bit by bit we got phone signals intermittently that we were able to make contact and figure out that at least we were on the way.
I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but that's the first bit of the dawn chorus I've heard. We're just coming down, dropping down into Glenmalure, which is roughly the halfway point. So, you know, we've had a few little hiccups along the way, but you know, it's not been too bad really. Yeah. It'll be nice to just stop and maybe have another quick cup of tea and change my top or something like that. Yeah, still on the right track. Whoa.
So 4:30 in the morning, and we're at Glenmalure Lodge. Just after heating up some water so that I can have a cup of tea and a bit of food, hot food, when he gets here. Hoping to be seeing him in about 10 minutes. As you can see, the dawn of day is starting to break slowly but surely. You can hear the birds singing, and there's a field of sheep beside us as well. So just hoping to see Declan come up this road now anytime soon.
Well, the morning has well and truly broken, and we are maybe a kilometre away from Glenmalure Lodge. We just have to sort of go round and drop down. I can see it over to my right, but I can't get to it unless I go around. Anyway, we're not far away now, and then we'll have a cup of tea.
One man and all his needs to run the Wicklow Way. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes, a bag, and a big bottle of water.
3 big bottles of water, I suppose. This is quite the climb out of Glenmalure, up the back of Mullaghcore, down into Glendalough eventually. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We were over there a little while ago, so we were, but now we're over here. That's how it works. Just come up an absolute hooah of a climb. back of Mullaghcore and dropping down shortly into Glendalough. And I tell you, that was hard work. Hard work indeed. Oh!
Last we saw him last year, he was taking on St. Declan's Way, and here he is arriving into the home of St. Kevin in Glendalough. It's just coming up to 7:30 in the morning now.
Certainly it is 7:30. Peter Hokey, how are you keeping?
I'm good.
Well, I just had a 15-minute doze in the car. I didn't really sleep, but we had a shower of rain, so it just seemed like an opportune moment just to take the weight off a bit and get a bit of rest. But we're just rising up out of Glendalough Valley now, and this is really wonderful. Look at all these lovely mossy walls. There's an old ruined house up there. I'm sure that could tell a tale or two. And a big old load of Scots pine. Very nice. What I'd give to be able to jump in there now, I'll tell you. Well, this is a slightly different sort of a thing. Still the Wicklow Way, but very much out in the open, in farmland, which I suppose is an indication that we're getting closer to Dublin. I mean, we've still got a few mountainy things to do, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just a pleasant little grassy interlude, isn't it?
Our intrepid explorer has reached Loch Tay on the J.B. Malone Memorial. Greetings!
Yes, wouldn't be a section on the Wicklow Way without me going off the Wicklow Way for a short section.
That was only very minor.
So we're just contouring Jouse, which is that rather lost in the mist mountain, and then it's actually all a little bit Wuthering Heights at the moment. There's a lot of low-lying mist and cloud. Well, I say low-lying, we're up fairly high, I guess, but considering it's been very clear up to now, this is certainly closed in a little bit. Anyway, look, hopefully it won't. Look, if it doesn't rain, I'll be happy, I guess. Anyway, this is a really tricky technical piece of path, so I'm gonna concentrate on that. Oh yeah, right, we've just come down from the flanks of Jouse over there. You see that little line going up by the side of the trees, that's where we'll be in about 10 or 15 minutes. Crossing the river valley that gives rise to Paris Court waterfall, which we will also see in about 15 or 20 minutes or so.
We're now high above Powerscourt waterfall. I took a walk up from Crone Wood to see if I can meet Declan on his way on the Wicklow Way. So, a bit of a rocky crag here, but I'm expecting to find him around the corner any moment. And there he is, the lone wanderer, coming up to Powerscourt waterfall.
So Gary's got out of the car, showing off his beautiful legs, getting some steps in, down below Powerscourt, with lots of people having picnics, which seems like a really good idea, doesn't it? Oh.
Well, the good news is there's a coffee wagon in Crone Wood.
There is. I had a hot chocolate there a few weeks back, and it was really nice.
Indulge.
So we're in Kirtlestown Wood here, heading up towards Prince William's Seat, down into Glencullen. It's not the last climb we have, but it's probably the last nasty one anyway. Anyway, we're not too far from home, I suppose that's the main thing. And all being well, we should finish with the sun still in the sky, which is kind of a big deal, I think. Anyway, some lovely mature Scots pines to keep us company. Right, just come over the top of Prince William's Seat, and there below me is the first glimpse of Dublin. You can see Killiney Hill and Howth Head and a few other things, a few other landmarks, and obviously you can see the sea just about, and Dublin Bay. So that's very exciting. It means we're not far from home. Sneaking pictures. We're actually officially just about to leave the Wicklow Way. Goodbye Wicklow Way. It's been my constant companion since 4 o'clock yesterday. Although in fairness, I did leave the Wicklow Way a few times, but not on my own volition really. Just, we had a few boo-boos. Speaking of boo-boos, Gary just rang to say there's a concert in Marley Park, and that's something we probably should have factored in. It's quite a popular spot for concerts, so it's going to the initial kind of feedback from the people on the gates at Marley was there's no chance of anybody coming in, especially not me, just so I can walk across a finish line. But it might be an MCD gig, and as we speak, Saoirse is making calls to contacts in the business to see if perhaps they will let us in. So we'll see. I have a plan B if that falls through. Anyway, we're just heading for Fairy Castle, or Two Rock as it's also known, and then on to Three Rock, and then Ticknock. We're nearly home. not bad, we've made it. 130 odd K plus the rest from Clonegall. We're going to hit Marley Park shortly, so but here's the old homestead. Journey was a bit like, if I may say so, a bit like your life. Long, eventful. Some things didn't go according to plan. Occasionally there were fuck-ups. My fuck-ups, by the way. But overall, just good old crack. Couldn't have done it without Gary either. Massive thanks. But anyway, it's Father's Day, so I just thought I'd wish you happy Father's Day. Okay.
The total joy of Marley Park being a concert venue in the summertime means that we weren't able to come in the way we would like, and we have all these lovely crowd control barriers to contend with.
The crowd's cheering me, Gary. I just think there's obviously been some kind of a breakdown with, I don't know, they probably were here yesterday or something, were they?
Well, yeah, I suppose, you know, you're only a little bit late. So after 130k plus the VAT, there's Declan coming towards the finish line. We can see what magic Serge has been able to pull to hopefully get us in the area. Swing right there and around.
Oh, fuck, it's great to see you. Where's the style? I've got to do the style.
This is why you're excited. You know
This is the pure definition of madness. 130 kilometers. And after our 4 PM start yesterday in Clonegall, here we are at our end and can literally go no further. With many thanks to Carol for getting us in.
There is a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. So there. GoPro, stop recording.